Held is a brand new 2021 horror thriller. Definitely more on the thriller side of things. And I went into this one blind, as one knows about my channel. As always, I didn't know a damn thing about this. This is currently for rent on VOD for a pretty high price tag. I always think the $7 mark for these straight to VOD releases is a little high. I definitely wish they would bring them down to the $3-4 range. Seven per go on these is a little pricey. But anyway, now as far as the plot synopsis goes, there is a woman who has a traumatic past. She is celebrating her anniversary with her husband up at a rental, and they are, let's see, this is always the hardest part for me, is because, like, I know exactly how to say it, I just don't want to spoil things as much as I possibly can. But they go to sleep and they wake up and they have been redressed. Their clothes and everything are, have been changed, and they are told from a voice in the ceiling that they must obey what he tells them to do or they will die. So that's all you need to know. It was cool finding that. That's why I love watching this shit blind, because I didn't know if this was a monster movie, a slasher movie. And then when that kind of stuff revealed itself, I was like, oh, okay, this is where we're going with this. That's why trailers suck. That's why all this stuff, not a fan. Anyways, moving on. I guess what I should say is, I did like the movie. I thought that while it was fairly predictable for me, I'm not sure that everyone's going to have that same level of predictability with it. I just had a feeling, I guess, as to where it was all heading. Now, where I think certain people will dislike this movie are people who are a little more sensitive to this men are shit movement that seems to be definitely at the forefront of some films. I didn't have a problem with that in this film, because I felt that it set itself up well enough, and that it actually did have a redeeming character in it that was of the male variety. One of my big gripes with films that seem to lean into that idea that all men are shit is that there is a multitude of characters within the film, and none of the guys are likable. Every single one of them is dreadful. This can work with a smaller scale if it's just like, a woman or two encountering a couple guys. That's a little different than if there is multiple other people that are involved, and it's like, really? You can't depict a single man that's good? But in this one, as I said, I feel like there is a redeeming male character. So I didn't have that problem with it, but I could see the problem being there. I think the performances are good. The girl, the main lady of the film, is really good. I think she's pretty great, actually. The husband is good, bordering on really good. I don't know. I felt some hamminess to it, but I also could argue, knowing how the film plays out, that actually, might not be an issue. As far as the antagonist of the film goes, it's pretty standard fare as far as that goes. It does kind of have a soft vibe to it at first, with this voice kind of telling them the errors of their ways and how he's going to fix it, with kind of like a 50s housewife spin to it. But yeah, I think, what I really did like was the ending and the wife's choices that ended up having, we usually have, because she is the main character of the film. while the husband is part of it for sure, it is her story. The movie starts with her background. It's very much centered on her. And she's in a dire situation, as one would expect in the third act, and she makes some very smart decisions. There's some things that I could be like, she could have done this, whatever. But ultimately, there are a couple moments where I was like, yes, thank you, thank you. And, the husband, he he's fine. He's fine. As I said, he's more secondary to this. It's really focused on her, so I'm focusing primarily on her myself. And as far as the ending went, I was pleased with it. I think it's a fine film. I really liked the setup. That I was really into. About 30 minutes in, once all that had transpired, I was like, okay, cool. This could be really cool. Then how it started to play out, it was kind of like, all right, I kind of feel like I've seen this, been here, done that kind of thing. And then some reveals happen, which I had guessed, and I was like, all right. And motivations were, I could see the motivations for what happened and what is happening to be seen as a slant towards a specific side of the political spectrum, or just certain, old school ideology. And I don't know. Since I'm not there, I don't have any worries about it. But yeah, man, God, the opening of this film features an assault, and it just further angers me, as it always does, with just how men think it's okay to take advantage of somebody like that. It really is baffling and beyond angering. Angering doesn't even begin to describe the feeling. It's just like, you don't realize, and this is illustrated fairly well in the opening of this movie, you don't realize like how damaging this is going to be to someone's life for potentially ever. Do you really need power that badly, or are you that horny? Are you really that horny that you're willing to damage someone's life forever? No, I can't imagine anyone being that horny. I've been pretty fucking horny in my life, but I've never even been close to that horny. It's just crazy to me, man. Like, anyway, all right. But the film is good. As I said, I think there's going to be people who dislike those certain elements in it, and I feel like both of those kinds of people land on the same side of the coin. So I have a feeling there's going to be a certain group of audience members that are going to be like, meh, as they always do. But as far as a thriller goes, I think that it has a good setup, becomes fairly generic, and then ends smartly with kind of a fist pump. There you go. Anyways, let me know if you watch it. I wouldn't spend $7 on it though. Wait for it to drop in price, or get to one of the streaming services, a Netflix and Amazon Prime or whatnot, and check it out. And as far as the killer's look goes, it looks almost like a bust of some Greek statue, but it's all like in black. It's okay. It's all right. I don't know. It's not really used effectively. And I feel like there's some things that are kind of set up and not really explored upon. So it isn't fully realized, but overall it's fine. Anyways, I talked about this for way too long. Adios.